Tell me about your time working on the science journal.
Yes, that was a very exciting time. We competed with Wellesley College. We were the two finalists to bring the journal to Stanford. The journal had been started by Catherine Stimson at Barnard College, and the University of Chicago owned the journal, probably still does. And Catherine and the University of Chicago Press felt that it would be good for the journal to rotate venue every 5 years, get fresh blood into the editorial team. And so the University of Chicago Press held a competition for the next venue. And when I heard about this, I went and talked to Barbara Jelpe and asked her if she would be interested in being the editor. And she was excited, and she said yes, and then we put together a marvelous, absolutely marvelous editorial team. Carol Jacklin from psychology, and Shelley Risaldo from anthropology, Estelle Friedman from history, Nan Cohane from political science, myself. I can't remember whether Jane Collier was on the team to begin with or she came later. But anyway, we were successful in our competition. We had wonderful support from both the provost and the president. Don Kennedy, who was provost, when I first went and told him about it, said he knew that support from Stanford was going to be critical here. And he was very kind and said, you just let me know what you need me to do to get this journal here. And when the University of Chicago Press came, Don Kennedy was very charming and explained to them how much Stanford wanted the journal. And then they met with Dick Lyman, who was president. Catherine Stimson must have started the journal in 1975. And then we got the journal here in 1980. That's what happened. Dick Lyman was still president and very supportive for this.
So it stayed at Stanford for the next 5 years?
They stayed at Stanford for the next 5 years, yes.
So what did you do, I guess? What was your role with science throughout those 5 years?
Well, I mean, feminism was bursting its intellectual seams. There was so much new material coming out, and because Science was the only and the preeminent journal in women's studies, all these manuscripts came to us, and so our graduate students were able to read things even before they were published, and we were able to discuss all these new ideas, and it was a cross-disciplinary team because we had submissions from all these disciplines. And it was very exciting trying to figure out, how much of the journal's space should be on psychology, how much should be on literature, how much should be on economics. So those decisions had to be made. And then we had a wonderful conference on women and communities and published an issue on women and communities. Including women in Catholicism. We had Joan Chittister, who was the abbess of a Benedictine abbey in Erie, Pennsylvania, who came and gave the final address and was sensational. So we bonded at Stanford, the faculty members who were doing this and the graduate students who were doing this, and then we became preeminent in terms of Stanford's association with women's studies because the journal was here.